Welcome to I Love Gay today. And we are down in Atlanta today, and we are here with JZidor. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Fantastic. It's great to connect with you here. I enjoyed listening to some of your most recent music and even learning a bit about you. But you're an R&B artist, and but you have a new single that just came out, correct?
I have a new single coming out on the 20 fifth called Him that'll be dropping soon that I'm very, very excited about. Very excited.
Well, you should. You sent it to me earlier. It sounds amazing, and
Thank
but I love it. You're an openly gay LGBT artist, and you've been creating music for quite some time, though. Yes.
Yeah, on and off since 2015. The thing about me in creating music that it kind of started late, but it everything has just been coming along. Like everything has been a learning lesson, I should say.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the beauty about the whole American Idol experience and me writing music and me being an artist right now because I really didn't do a lot of things that I'm doing now, like most artists when they were like a teenager or in their early 20s. So everything is pretty much a learning lesson.
Yeah. But now you mentioned American Idol, and so what folks don't know if this is their first time meeting you is that you were a contestant on season 13.
It was an amazing experience. I was a huge fan of the show. Watched the show up until the end, pretty much, and that experience really um gave me more than I think I knew I needed. Initially it was just about proving to these my haters at school or like people who just didn't believe in me. Oh, I can sing. Watch I go on American Idol and win, right?
Yep.
But I on the other side of coming out of that, I experienced so many uh different experience that just made me grow as a person, as an artist, as an individual, a person who wanted to grow in this music industry. That's why I am openly gay and honest about my sexuality, so people can feel that relatability with me.
Yeah.
And I give a lot to that show. I really do. It really blossomed a budding a budding flower over here.
Yeah, but it really opened things up because you didn't just start out with it, but you kind of worked your way through all the way to the finals.
Yeah, I was a top. So my title is interesting. I'm a top 10 male on the show, and I was a top 20 overall contestant. And making it that far, I think I want to say 100,000 people maybe auditioned my year.
Yeah.
So for a person who really, and you know what the irony is that me making it that far on the show, I really didn't have a lot of confidence.
Mm,
Like people don't believe me when I say that now because
yeah.
it just doesn't seem that way. But I remember going to the audition and just feeling like, okay, they're not going to pick me. They're not going to pick me. They're not going to pick me. Even
Yeah.
when I went to Hollywood Week and so on, like I was literally there like every day, like, oh, I'm not gonna win. I'm not gonna win. And so I eventually not didn't win, but the fact that I made it that far, and even in my, if you guys have seen my audition, I was crying in my audition because I had three people pour something into my cup that I really needed.
Yeah.
And those three people were Jennifer, Harry, and Keith Urban. And the critiques, I wish you guys, the public, heard the critiques that they didn't play on TV. Like it was such an uplifting moment that I kind of, because at one point I used to tell myself that oh, you can't sing, like this is the pipe dream. And honestly, ever since that audition, I couldn't tell myself that anymore. Like, how can you tell yourself you can't sing when you have a person like Harry Connick Jr. who's
Yeah.
classically trained tell you that you're amazing, you're dangerous. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I kind of had like dead those um that anxiety about myself.
Yeah. Well, you've come a long way, and I was going to say, even with what you're producing now, do you perform like locally or at Pride festivals and so forth as well?
I have been trying to get on the pride scene for the longest. Here in Atlanta, it's been hard. I've reached out to some of the venues before in the past, but to be fair, I will say I really didn't have the material that I have. Like I have a lot of material now.
Yeah.
So versus when I was I was really just trying to get those spots. I hope this doesn't sound bad, but kind of offer name recognition a little bit, like, hey, I'm JZidor on American Idol, but I really didn't have nothing to provide. I didn't have a product to push, so
Yeah. Yeah.
it never really worked out. But hopefully, definitely within the future, I would love to be booked, especially for gay pride events,
Yeah.
and other events as well. I would love to start doing shows for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially for the next summer coming along here. So you got plenty of time to prepare. But
Yeah.
um anything else exciting kind of coming on the horizon?
Coming on the horizon, I my single hymn, which will be out on the 25th, that will be coming out. It's such a uh, it's a different song for me, and I actually the reason what inspired the song was I used to have several conversations with cisgendered men, right?
Yeah.
And they would be like, I have a great girl, and she cooks for me, she cleans for me, she'll even run my bath water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but for some reason, these men still felt like they needed their cake and eat it too. They needed a little side piece, even though they had what most people would consider to be the ideal woman, right?
Yeah.
And when I would hear those stories, and I've heard plenty of stories by plenty of cisgender men about this very topic. And because I am a songwriter at heart, um, I just used those stories and I kind of flipped it.
Yeah.
And that's how him came about. And I'm just so excited about the song because it leads into the EP, which is called Black, Single and Gay.
Yeah.
And the EP is pretty much it's about there's a conversation on. Let me start here. There's a conversation online about R&B being dead, right?
Yeah.
And the R&B isn't where it used to be, like in the golden age of the '90s and the early 2000s. And so I don't necessarily think that it's dead. I think there's a difference between something that is irrelevant and something that has transcended.
Yeah.
The reason why I like to use the term R&B has transcended is because it's everywhere. If you really listen to it, that's why a lot of artists get mad at like an artist like Sam Smith or Adele or Ariana Grande, because you have these white artists singing what sounds like black music. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But it's not that and it's not a bad thing either. It's just that R&B has kind of maxed out. So now it's like elevated to like where you can in the early '90s you wasn't there was a few singers out there sounding like Ariana Grande, like you had Tina Marie and who's the lady that sings "Been Around the World and yeah yeah." You had her, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like you really didn't have like white girls out here singing like Adele and Rihanna, you know what I mean? And Ariana, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's the beauty of R&B. That's how you know that R&B has transcended and has elevated, because even in hip hop,
Yeah.
you have rappers now who are slapping auto tune on their voice and going in the booth and singing. So I really feel that with this EP, the topics are the same that you heard throughout music, but the difference is that I am gay, and from that perspective alone, I can reinvent the storyline of R&B music, and I think that's what I'm doing. It's an R&B EP.
Yeah.
It has influences of a little bit of pop, has influence of a little bit of hip hop, and that's definitely where I am right now. That's definitely like the core of me. There's more of that than me, but this is kind of what I want to present right now, and hopefully, as my star rise, you guys definitely hear different sounds for sure.
I love that. Well, November 25th, the day after Thanksgiving.
Yes, honey. Oh, nasty Black Friday.
I love it. Well, no, I really, mostly I'm just really appreciative that you're able to take a few moments of your time and kind of share a bit of your story here with our audience.
No, I'm glad that you uh gave me the opportunity. I am an indie artist,
Yeah.
and I will say this, that um now that I'm in life after American Idol, a lot of people think that things are just thrown at you once you're on that show, and that's not really the case. You know what I'm saying? And prior to me getting on that show, I didn't have any kind of input in the music industry. I didn't know anybody. I didn't do anything. So
Yeah.
um, I'm just grateful to be grinding like I am and reaching out to people like yourself and getting a response back. That is so, you don't know how much it means to me. You know what I mean? Because people ignore emails all the time. So
I
I'm just
hear
grateful
you.
that somebody listened.
Well, it's because your talent shines through. So that's the most important part. Well, thanks so much for being here. And I look forward to connecting someday in the real world.
Yes, we will. Hopefully I'll be performing at a Pride event next summer, and you'll be my guest.
I would love that. Well, thanks so much
Yes.
for being here.
Thank you. You guys have a great time.
So good.